The most expensive listing currently in Rogers Park is this 3-bed, 2-bath condo listed for $384,000. HOA is $190 a month and taxes are around $5,400. So this is a townhouse. Let's take a look inside. Nice high ceilings, a beautiful bench press. There isn't a ton of intrigue. You know, you have these older brown cabinets. It looks like it might be currently tenant occupied, so I think the agent probably had a little bit of an uphill battle. I like having this split floor plan where the living space is down below and you have that kitchen space up above. It lends a little bit of separation so you feel like you have multiple floors of living, which is always nice. It's a nice unit, attached 2-car garage. The most expensive listing currently in Jefferson Park is this single-family home, new construction, that has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and it's listed for $749,000. It's been on the market for over a year. Let's take a look inside. They did a nice job on the exterior. Love a rendering of a night shot, is always nice. I like the mixed exterior material, so you have a little brick, a little siding. As you go inside, you can kind of tell that it's basically what everyone is building right now, a big open floor plan, quartz countertops. You're seeing a little bit of those earth tones throughout, but black hardware, nice dining space. They're kind of pushing the boundaries into new neighborhoods that aren't quite ready for, you know, this big single family home that is relatively modern. You know, these big boxes, love them, hate them, it's none of my business. But what do you think? Is this property worth $749,000? The most expensive property currently listed in Hyde Park is this single family home on an extra long lot, 25 by 150. Pretty high taxes, $18,000. It has 3 beds, 2.5 baths. So a little bit on the smaller side, and it's currently listed for $985,000. Let's take a look inside. So Hyde Park has these interesting single family homes that, you know, are essentially touching your neighbor. So you kind of miss a little bit of that natural light. First picture is the spiral staircase. It's cool. I wouldn't really highlight that as the first thing if it were my home. You can tell that this is an older building that has undergone some recent renovations. Given the materials that are used, you can tell that, you know, this was probably built, you know, sometime in the last 50 years. And, you know, given that there's baseboard heat and, you know, this AC, it's called a split mini AC condenser up above. You know, that's indicative of like a 1970s build. You have a cedar closet, which was also in vogue in 1960, or maybe this was just a buyer or seller who really liked that. You get this nice little shed. And a key feature of this home and why they're potentially asking this much is that 150 long lot gives you, you know, some serious yard space. So what do you think? Worth it? The most interesting property that I found in West Town is this single family home listed for about $1.7 million, 4 beds, 3.5 baths. But the really interesting part is some of the art that they commissioned on the exterior of this property. Wait till you take a look. Taxes are $17,900. Let's take a look inside. The story here is going to be outdoor space. So this is on a double lot, meaning you're 50 wide. So you have all of this green space, which is nearly impossible to get in Chicago. I'm gonna pause here for a minute. They clearly commissioned this artwork. The artist's name escapes me, but maybe one of you can leave it in the comments. I think it's so interesting. You get a garage deck with a pergola, outdoor kitchen, just crushing it with this outdoor space. And you can tell that the listing agent here is really trying to draw people in with this outdoor space because we're on photo number 17 or 18 before we even get inside. As we move into the property, it is a little bit cookie cutter, nothing that, you know, stops you in your tracks until you get to the basement where, you know, you have this really interesting ceiling. I don't even know what it is. It could just be paint. They have a rock climbing wall and a basketball hoop. I don't know how tall these ceilings are, but sounds like toddler heaven. My kids would love it. I don't know. These people are people I would like to be friends with. I think it's a really, really interesting listing. And I bet it goes under contract pretty quickly. So what do you think? You think this is interesting? Can you find a more interesting property in Chicago? Quite possibly the most interesting property in all of Chicago right now is this, I don't even know what you want to call this. It's 3 single family homes sitting on 1 lot in Old Town for $3.75 million. $47,000 in taxes, but you get a true single family and 2 kind of coach houses. I've never seen anything like it before. So here's property 1. Spectacular. Outdoor space is one of a kind. You get all of these windows on the rear of the house, exposed brick, vaulted ceilings, and then wait till you see this little nook coming up that they have for dining. You get a skylight, you get these built-in cabinets, you get these built-in cushions, you have the brick all around, just incredible. You have this bar with storage for wine. I mean, I'm just geeking out over this kind of house. And we'll kind of speed through the remainder of the pictures because we got to get to another property that's on the same piece of land. And here it is. You have a separate entrance from another street. You have architectural skylights throughout. It's only a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family home, which is extremely rare, but has Airbnb written all over it. Now we're in the third property on the same piece of land. It's also a single family, much more modest than the first two. We're kind of gonna gloss over the remainder of this one because there's just nothing particularly interesting. But I've never seen anything quite like this property ever in my entire life. One of the most interesting properties in all of Chicago that's currently listed is this 3-unit building in Humboldt Park. It's really strange, honestly, but let's take a look inside. It's currently listed for $1.3 million and is bringing in about $2,000 a month. It's definitely pretty on the outside, but as you get inside is where you kind of find some of this more interesting stuff. They decided to go no drywall on the ceilings at all. So you have those rafters consistent on every level in all 3 units, which frankly, I've never seen before. As a contractor and developer, I always thought it looked interesting, but you may be able to hear some of that footstep noise from the units above you. It just looks really darn cool. And kudos to whoever built this for taking a little bit of a risk. You have a 2-bed, 1-bath on top, a 1-bed, 1-bath in the middle, and a 1-bed, 1-bath down below. So you're not gonna be pulling in too much rent. It's going to be a really unique buyer, but take a look at this extremely long outdoor space. So it is on a 25 by 170 lot. It's one of the largest lots that I've seen this year. And that makes it one of the most interesting properties in the city right now. One of the more interesting properties currently on the market in all of Chicago, maybe the country. We have this entire church listed for just under $1 million. It is spectacular. It's sitting on a 50 by 118 lot. Definitely gonna be sold to a developer who's gonna do something crazy with it. Because it's a church, there's no taxes yet, but that'll change. I mean, $1 million, you couldn't build the exterior of this place for $2 million. So it's incredible. I'm Jewish, but I love this stuff anyway. You have incredible stained glass, you have art glass, you have these pews I don't know what someone's gonna do with, but you have incredible ceiling heights. Obviously, this is going to be converted into something else. Your guess is as good as mine, but probably going to be rentals of some kind. So what do you think a developer is going to turn this spectacular church into? Rentals, maybe someone is crazy and does a single family home? Let us know what you think in the comments below.